So I know I am a little late, but season 2, episode 2 of You and I Are Polar Opposites dropped, and I thought it was probably one of the better episodes that I've seen from either season. Now, maybe that's just recency bias, and it doesn't mean that any other episode was bad, per se, by any means. I think a lot of it is amazing, but I thought this episode was so damn peak. And it also made me realize that Yamada and Nishi need to date already. Like, they need to date ASAP. They are legitimately the perfect couple, and I just can't get over how I love them so much. A lot more than I love even the main characters or the main couple in this series. And I'm not saying that Suzuki and Tani are bad, but it doesn't change the fact that I love this side character couple a lot more than I actually love the main character couple. And frankly, I've had animes, quite a few animes that I felt this way, but this anime I felt the strongest about that specifically. And funny enough, this episode solidifies my feelings about that specifically, like, very easily, like solidifies them 1000%. Because we even get a little bit of a moment before they go on their little like work study or like their little date that's like more like studying and stuff like that. And before that, we get Yamada essentially talking to Tani and Taida, which I don't know if I'm even saying that right, but Taida, something like that. Well, essentially the three of them are talking about their lives, and Yamada essentially admits that he is in love with Nishi, right? Like, flat out admits it. And let's be honest, we all can see it. We're not blind, right? And frankly, I thought at this point they were basically dating. Like, that's what it basically seems like. Like, you don't just hold someone's hand for no reason. You don't act the way you act around them for no reason. It honestly felt like they already took that step towards dating, but I guess they're not quite at that level yet, which that's understandable, right? I just kind of made the assumption that they were pretty much there, and maybe they are pretty much there. But yeah, according to Yamada, they are not dating just yet. And he flat out says, like, yeah, I'm in love with her, blah, blah, blah. And essentially says, like, he's never felt like this towards someone, like, ever. Which I was like, hey, that for one, that's really cute, right? That's really adorable that you're admitting that. You're also admitting that in front of the homies, right? In front of your boys. That's pretty serious, right? Like, that's how you know that boy is not lying, because he straight up is saying this in front of the homies. Now, this does eventually lead us to them going on their little study date, or their little like, they're just gonna study together. And oh my goodness, it was adorable right off the rip. And the first thing I thought about, and the first thing that I saw personally, was when she like walks up, she's walking up and her shoes are making this weird sound, like the kind of like the like emptiness type of sound. And funny enough, we get it confirmed that the shoes that she was essentially wearing were too big for her, and that was making that sound. And I immediately like clocked it. Like, immediately when I heard the sound of the shoes, I was like, oh, that's really funny. Like, it's probably too big of shoes for her to wear. And then it was confirmed later, like, that was actually the case, and I had a really good laugh about that. But when she pulled up, she essentially walked up to him, and they like stared at each other for a second, right? And which is so great about this moment is that Nishi was told by Yamada, like, oh, like, you should look me in the eyes more often, and like basically says, like, your bangs hide you from my eyesight. Like, you kind of like don't look at my eyes because of your bangs. And I immediately thought, like, to myself, I immediately thought, oh, she did something with her bangs. Like, that's been a point of talking about that they've had about the whole idea of, like, you know, her bangs hide her eyes, whatever. So immediately I knew what was different, but it was actually a cute moment because they're both staring at each other, and Nishi's trying to stare at him, like stare at his eyes and, like, you know, look at him. But the reality is it's awkward no matter how you spin it, right? Like, you're gonna feel awkward even if it's not supposed to be awkward. So she's kind of staring back at him, and then eventually is like, okay, like, I'm a little shy now. So she kind of looks away, And Yamada's like, well, like, I want to see what's different. Like, he's trying to figure it out, essentially, what's different about her and why he thinks that there is something different, because he obviously knows there is, but he just can't put his finger on it. And he keeps looking at her, or trying to look at her, and she's like running away. Like, it's actually hilarious, because she's like running away in a circle. So she's like trying to hide herself, and like they're like running in a circle trying to see each other. And it's adorable. Like, it is absolutely adorable, the little things that they did in this episode, like, you know, running after each other, he's trying to see what's different about her. And eventually, after they like settle, and after she kind of like stops running away, they kind of laugh, and eventually he's like, damn, like, I really want to date this girl. Like, I really want to date this girl. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I mean, like, you're the type of person to lay it out there, right? You've done that so many times, where you just admitted and said things and done things. Like, he's a very straightforward person. Yamada is a very straightforward person. And that is something that has been said quite a bit as well. Like, Yamada is like that. Like, he really is someone who will just straight up go for something. Just go for it, right? So for me, I was thinking, oh, we're probably going to get a moment where he straight up says that he wants to date her to her, right? At least that's what I thought. And eventually we get into the like the library, and they start essentially studying, you know, just studying and doing homework. And eventually he does learn that, like, Nishi does not need to study. Like, she's already actually done with all the homework, everything. So it kind of proves, like, she's not a slacker. She's literally the opposite of him. Like, she doesn't slack on things. She gets the things done super quick, right? She gets the job finished and the work finished as soon as possible. She's very responsible, stuff like that. So it's pretty obvious that they are pretty much polar opposites, huh? Right? Funny enough, that is the title of the show, right? But it is funny because they kind of have that conversation where she's like, yeah, I kind of technically don't need to do this. Like, yeah, and she even kind of admits, like, indirectly, that she comes here quite often. So essentially, she has all her stuff done. Like, she has her stuff together. She's already done. She doesn't have to worry about anything. And this is when Yamada's like, dang, like, I wish we should have gone somewhere else then, and blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, but are you done with your homework? Like, are you done with everything? And Yamada's like, oh, yeah, I'm not done with everything. And obviously that leads to, like, some laughter, some jokes, some funny stuff. And eventually Yamada does realize, like, what's different about her. Like, she realizes that she cut her bangs, right? And obviously that's a really cute moment, and that's something that happens in a couple romance animes. I wouldn't say a lot of them, but something that is really good in terms of, like, romance stuff is I really like the trope of the guy can't put his finger on what's different, but then ends up figuring out what is different about the girl. Because I think that is a showing of interest, right, for women and for girls and whatever, is when you, like, oh, they cut their hair, you're able to recognize, oh, they cut their hair, oh, you did this or you did that, oh, I can recognize that you did something different. And that's what Yamada did here. And it's just super cute, right? She's obviously embarrassed, but she's also, like, flattered by him noticing and realizing and stuff like that. And then eventually we get a scene where Yamada just straight up goes, oh yeah, let's date, right? Like, let's just date. And I'm like, oh, okay, buddy. Like, hey, we're just out there, we're swinging for the fences here. Like, hey, we out here. But then I realized, or, well, really not realized, but eventually it shows that he didn't actually say that. Like, he said it in his head, and he was like, damn, I really want to say that. I really want to, like, you know, like, I really want to admit that to her. I want to, you know, I want to date her, right? Like, I really want to. But then he goes against his, you know, his judgment and doesn't end up doing it. But they have a nice little study date. Like, that's what ends up happening. And I think for the first time we see Yamada being the overthinker, like the heavy overthinker. And that's what makes this episode so great, is because things do complicate, right? When you are in love with somebody, when you're falling for somebody, when you love being around somebody, things get real freaking complicated, right? Things get really, really, really complicated. So the reality is him coming out and just like being like, oh yeah, let's date. Like if that actually happened, there wouldn't be that much depth to what was going on, or depth to the characters and stuff like that. It would lack a little bit. So I do like the fact that he came out and in his own head he tried to say it, and then realized like, I can't say that. I can't, not yet. I don't want to do that just yet. It's honestly pretty damn perfect for the two of them. And on top of that, shoot, I was in love with that like bonus scene where we see Nishi, and this is where we learn about like, her wearing shoes that are too big for her. Basically Nishi trying to come up with what she's going to wear. And frankly, it was just like a really adorable and cute bonus scene that we got from that part of the episode of the anime. But I think overall what made this episode so great was essentially Yamada being not necessarily like himself to the utmost degree, right? Normally he's very careless, he's very loose, he doesn't think too much, he's very like, talkative and this and that. But now that he's falling in love and has fallen in love, and he's like honestly at that moment or at that point for himself, he's a lot more quiet, he's a lot more nervous, he's definitely has uneasy feelings about certain things, and it makes him question himself, makes him think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I shouldn't say this. And part of the episode literally says that Yamada, had a lot more to say that he couldn't say out loud, which that is definitely the reality of this relationship right now. And I can't wait till they end up together, because they definitely will end up together, but I can't wait until they start dating. I think it's gonna come with a lot of even more adorable and absolutely kicking your feet type of moments. And I think overall I love them so much, and I think the two of them should just they just need to start dating already, because I can't freaking wait for those moments. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.